Okay, today's video is super important, and the reason being is because your masculine energy as a man will get completely crushed by these 5 vices that I'm going to show you on the whiteboard, okay? And when you demonstrate these vices in real life and you let them seep into your life and into your own identity and into your personality, you're going to be a weaker version of your former self, okay? Women don't like weak men. Women do not like weak men with a weak personality. Women do not like weak men physically. Women despise weak men. So because of that, what I'm going to show you on this board, on this whole presentation today, is how to make sure you can crush the weakness, you can stop the vices, and you can actually be a man of excellence. Because truthfully, when you're winning in life, it's very, very, very hard to be sad. It's very, very hard to not feel right. Like, you feel good about yourself because you're doing big things. Now, before we dive in, you guys have to check this out. Today's MBT Celeb Spotlight is from Matt. He goes, "Huge win, boys. Maintained frame and chatted up this 10 that I've been interested in for a long time at a party. Got her number easy. I could tell she was into me. No hesitation when I got her number and asked to go out on the date." See, right there, that is exactly why I have been showing men MBT, which is masculine behavioral techniques, for years on this channel. Which means since I watch guys get results like this, I know it can help you too. Which means after this entire video is over today, I want you to actually go down below, hit the link in the description, and check out that presentation that I made specifically for you. All right, I'm telling you this right now, okay? Any man out there struggling, any man out there who feels sad, right? You feel lonely, you don't know what to do with your life. These 5 things, if you can put your head down for the next 6 to 12 months and you remove these 5 vices from your life, you will be a totally different man. Okay, not only will you be a totally different man, but you will walk different, you will talk different, you will carry yourself different, you'll have a different standard and expectation for how you live, and you will truly be a captivating individual that not only women will find very, very attractive, but you will actually have a good head on your shoulders, so that way when your head lays down on your pillow at night, you are secure within yourself, okay? What I'm going to show you is a clear-cut path to do that. So I'm very excited, so let's dive into this. Now, some may consider these vices, some may not, but regardless, I do. Even though these aren't the textbook vices like drugs or alcohol, these are 5 hidden vices that are escapism traps men cannot fall into. And the very first is putting women before your purpose, okay? Your purpose as a man is everything, and I'm going to give you multiple examples why and how you have to live this way. Women give no ROI, okay? Return on investment. If you chase a bunch of women, you are not going to get anything, right? Even if you get to sleep with a bunch of women, and I know from experience because when I was in my early 20s, what I would consistently have is rotations of girls, right? I'd see multiple girls through the week. I thought it was cool, okay? I thought it was great because I could live in pleasure and I could sleep with all these girls. It was awesome. But guess what? You don't get your time back. And since you don't get your time back, you start to understand that even though this feels good in the moment, there is no ROI, there is no return on investment, right? This will leave you far further back than you could have been. Now, some of you out there, you might be like, well, Casey, you know, I work my 9 to 5, right? I hit the gym after. I don't really know what to do with any of this excess time. Like, what I do is I download some dating apps, or I go on Instagram and I talk to girls. What should I do with this excess time? Okay, got you. Here's what you have to understand about excess time. The more success that you gain in life, okay, the more success that you gain in your business, the more success you gain financially, the more success you gain through your career, the more success you gain with your body and in the gym, the more options you have in the dating market and in your dating pool. More success as a man equals more options, okay? What will oftentimes happen is you will notice that the more successful you become, women start to look your way. And the reason for this is because men need vision. When I tell you a man needs vision and trajectory for his life. Okay, I'm talking you need to be able to look 5 to 10 years out, and you need to strategically pick and strategize not only the life you want to live, but you need to envision the finances and the resources that it's going to take to actually get there. Am I saying that everything regarding women comes down to money? No, absolutely not. But a man does need vision. You need to be able to lead yourself, and especially lead yourself financially. So if you aren't where you want to be, this excess time cannot be used for kicking it at the bar. This excess time cannot be used for sitting on Tinder or dating apps. This excess time needs to be for you to craft yourself and mold yourself into excellence and work harder, okay? Fill your extra time grinding. When I say grinding, fill your extra time working so much that it is impossible for people not to notice you. It is impossible for you not to get ahead. It is impossible for you not to shine bright. Do you understand how powerful this is? Not chasing ass. The reason why I can tell you this is because chasing ass is rooted in ego and validation. This is a young man's game. Was it fun in my early 20s when I was doing it? Yeah, absolutely, sure. Anything's fun for an hour or two. But you know what happens? Then you have to balance all of these women that you're talking to. You don't get time back. You have to go on all these excess dates, right? You're not super even invested into any of it, and it doesn't give you any ROI, right? There's no substance. So this is great if you're looking for like sex, but at the same time, what you have to remember is the older you get, your priorities are going to change, and the sooner that you can adapt this mindset, the better off you're going to be. So what's the second way? The second vice that you have to remove as a man is going to be constant consumption. We live in a consumption world, a consumption economy. People are consuming, okay? They're consuming excess food and drinks and beverages. They're consuming excess media, consumption. I'm going to tell you this as a man. I know this from firsthand experience through doing this with you guys for years and years and years, speaking now and developing myself. What I can tell you is confidence is purely created through creation. As a man, your job is to build. Okay, you can be the tallest, most jacked dude in the world, and if you're not creating, if days, weeks, and months go by, years and years go by, and you're in the exact same place as you were, that man will hang his head low. That man will not be confident. That man will not speak with authority or bass in his voice because he doesn't feel like he's actually worth anything. As a man, you have to create. Now, there's a lot of ways men do this. Men start to create businesses. Men will create their body in the gym. Men will create six-pack abs. Men will create families. Okay, men will create, amazing homes or amazing resources for themselves. It doesn't matter what it is, but you have to remember your building and your creation is an important part of life. As a man, you have to be a creator. Okay, notice sadness, okay, and lack of backbone is created through consumption. Go look at what happens to a man who's constantly consuming. Go look at what happens to a man who's constantly consuming excess food, excess sugar, excess alcohol. He's smoking routinely on weekends, or he's smoking every single night before bed. This consumption, what happens to him? Right? He becomes softer. He becomes weaker. Right? He doesn't become the best version of himself. In the short term, this feels good, right? Just like on the short term when I was telling you, if you want to go out there and you want to have a rotation and chase all these women and get all this ass, it's going to feel good. It's going to feel great. But you got to remember that in the long run, this is not going to leave you a stronger individual. So, what I'm explaining with number 2 is you need to build and create, okay? When you build and create, I'm telling you this, watch what happens. Like actually watch what happens in your life. And don't just try to build or create for a day, right? Look at the thing, like look at how I've been building this YouTube channel, for example, for years and years and years, consistently creating, consistently building. Find your outlet. When you find your outlet and you stick to it, it is impossible. I swear to you, it is impossible to wake up and feel empty. You feel like you have something to do. This is extremely powerful because in life, you are going to go through hardship. In life, some of you might go through hardship financially, right? Some of you might go through hardship with your wife or your significant other. Some of you might go through hardship with anything. Your ability to handle that stress and that toxicity and handle that hardship is what's going to fortify you into something more. You must, okay, be able to feel good about yourself. Men must build, however, in order to feel good about themselves. This is so key. When you remove the need to be in constant consumption and you switch to a state of creation, okay, building, that is very masculine. Men build things. Men build buildings. Men build infrastructure. Men build software. Men are builders. The second that you get in touch with your God-given masculinity and you start building a future for yourself, which is why I told you, where is it? Right here. Men need vision. This is powerful. Number 3, the third vice that you have to remove, because if you remove this, you will feel so much better about yourself, and you have to understand that this is a vice that has the whole world by its balls. This one vice has the entire world by its balls, and if you can remove this, you're going to be far better off ahead, and that is any form of scarcity. Listen to me. Any form of scarcity as a man kills you. When I say it kills you, it destroys you. If you look at how the average man lives in complete fear, the average man lives in fear with women, right, and not having options. The average man lives in fear with money and not being able to have the self-confidence to generate more for himself, the average man lives in fear with friends, right, and who's around him, and risk being lonely, and just risk in general. If there's anything that is risky that a man wants to do, right, it might be going and talking to that pretty girl at the bar. It might be starting that startup business where you got to invest $5,000 and you don't know if that's going to pay off and you could lose it, right? Any risk, like men are so in scarcity, they take no risks. What you have to understand is this is backwards thinking. And the reason why it's backwards thinking is because average men live in fear. Fear will take your testicles and crush them in half. You cannot be living with small balls. You need to be fearless. When you are fearless, you can now operate in the state of creation. The amount of risks I'm telling you, like I've been an entrepreneur now for 10 years, the amount of risks that I've had to take in order to build my business, in order to build myself, and learning and understanding the skills that it takes. Yeah, in the beginning, it probably looked stupid and awkward, right? I didn't know what I was doing. Like it takes time to build something for yourself. But when you do this, here's what you start to see. God rewards action takers. You might be saying, well, Casey, why do you even say that to begin with? Why would God reward action takers? Why would that matter? Because when you start to see that when you put one foot in front of the other and you're consistently rewarded for that, you will start to now understand one thing. As you become a man and you remove this scarcity and you start taking action instead of sitting in stagnation, you are now rewarded. Okay? If you look at anything, okay, when it comes to any sort of, sloth-like behavior or any sort of bad, low-level behavior, it's a man living in sedation. And when you're living in sedation, you're going to get crushed. Which brings me to number 4. As you remove scarcity, the fourth vice that a man is going to have to tackle, okay, this is an internal vice, and that would be taming your male drive. Okay, I'm going to tell you this. All of you have male drive in you. Every single one of you. You have male drive. But guess what? That male drive has been tamed by media. That male drive has been tamed by you using a word that you like to tell yourself is real called procrastination. Okay? That male drive has been sedated through bad food that you eat, through processed garbage. It's been sedated through drugs. It's been sedated through spectator sports. It's been sedated through smoking. It's been sedated by playing video games and watching TV. Okay, I'm going to tell you this. Do not tame the beast. It does not help you in any way, shape, or form to tame your inner beast, to tame your inner man. If you tame that inner man and you start to let yourself become a bitch, what you're going to see is that you're going to be sorely mistaken when you realize that you're not rewarded for that in the real world. Okay? When you tame your inner beast, that is not good. Okay? Use this to create positive things and positive outlets in your life. This inner beast that all of you have is the most powerful driving factor. When you tame it, you lose all of the things that makes you a man in the first place. Now, this aspect right here is going to blend into number 5. And if you stayed until the end, I want you to comment stayed until the end right now below so that way I know how many of you are watching this, because this truthfully is the most important point that I saved for last. The 5th vice that will crush you is ignoring your own masculine ambition and your own masculine goals. All of you, and I mean all of you watching this channel, if you're a fan of me, and if you're a fan of this channel, that actually means you are truly a fan of yourself, because all of these things that I'm teaching you that I've abided by have paid off for me. Which means if you'd like to see them pay off for you too, you're going to understand that ignoring your own masculine ambition and goals is the quickest way to death by 1,000 cuts of regret. And I'm going to explain to you what I mean by that. There is no shame, absolutely no shame in any way, shape, or form in failing. Because when you failed, you learned. When you failed, you learned a new experience. Okay? It is better to try and fail, okay, than not try at all. And the reason being is because regret hurts the worst. Regret as a man is literally the most soul-crushing thing. Okay? And you know this. You know this on the deepest level. When you go to bed at night and you wanted to do something and you didn't because you have not removed the scarcity, because you were living in fear of other people's judgment, fear of who's watching. Okay, you got to understand that you need to grab your balls and actually take action in the first place, because that is how you get ahead, because that regret hurts far worse. When you go to bed at night and you lay your head on that pillow, you don't feel secure with yourself. It is better to try and to fail than to not try at all. So, I'm going to tell you how I've lived and how this has always paid off for me. Anything that I want, I go after 100%. Like anything that I want, I go after. And that might sound cocky, that might sound arrogant. I don't care, because I'm going to tell you the secret sauce to this, because it's paid off really well. It's never ended me up in trouble, right? It's never made it so that way I live a worse future. It's never, if anything, it has pushed, right, the wrong people out of my life, and it has brought in the right people. because it's brought in the friends in the social circle that I have are other positive, driven, uplifting, like masculine, strong men. Okay, so this has helped me in every way, shape, or form. But how did I do this? Well, it came from not taming the beast. So you gotta understand this, okay? So you gotta understand this at a deep level, okay? Men want women without making themselves men. Since this is the truth, that men want women without making themselves men, you have to understand that a lot of you guys put the cart before the horse. And if you put the cart before the horse, you're not going to be able to get ahead. You're not going to bring your best self forward. You're not going to like how you look. Like, I'm gonna tell you this. All of you were born with a certain personality. You were born with a certain personality. You were born with certain genetics. Everybody was born with certain looks. Everybody was born with certain height. Okay, those things you can't control, but you can control all of this. And I'm gonna tell you what, this is a hell of a lot more powerful in the long run, because this is you actually shaping your own reality. And when you shape your own reality as a masculine man, that is one of the most powerful things that you can do. If you like this video, hit the like button, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.